In this video, I want to share with you honestly what it actually costs to have a six-figure coaching business. Now, everybody wants money and most people are focused on these big dollar amounts, but there's a huge distinction between revenue and profits. In order to understand profits, you have to understand costs. That's what we're going to talk about. In this edition of the Truth About Coaching show, we're going to talk about how much it actually costs to have a six-figure coaching business. Now, I first want to dissect the elements of the question, and then I'm going to give you the specifics. I'm going to break down some numbers and give you the specifics of revenue, what it takes to generate a six-figure revenue, and also the costs that are associated to that revenue in terms of the expenses and keeping it really lean. So first, let's get into the question itself. How much does it cost? Now, the word cost itself usually tells me that people are coming from the wrong perspective. In building a business, you have to think of investments. And there are three main investments. There's time, energy, and money. Most people are focused on money. And we hear money investment in terms of the stock market, and you put money in and how much money you get out. But time and energy in building a coaching business are by far the more important investments that you make. A lot of people can spend money but not invest the time and energy, and then they don't actually make progress, and they don't become a good coach, and they don't get certain and confident and all the things that are required at an energetic level. So if you have the right mindset of an entrepreneur and you understand that building a business is really dealing with uncertainty, and there will be investments of all of these things, and you can't know ahead of time which ones will actually pay off, you've just got to keep making the investment. I've probably invested at least $250,000 over the course of 15 years, so this isn't in the very beginning, but the majority of that dollar amount didn't provide like this windfall of cash and revenue, and a lot of it didn't provide any of it. But some of that investment created millions and millions of dollars. But we don't ever know which investment is actually going to lead to the exponential returns that we're all looking for. So you have to have the mindset of investment, and you have to be willing to invest time, energy, and money as much as you need to and as long as you need to. And you got to get committed to the idea of investing. If you don't, you can't build a business. You just have to have the mindset that's willing to do whatever it takes. And of course, most people are not. Most people are just looking for the shortcuts to make money. And unfortunately, you can find all kinds of programs that will teach you the quickest way to make money for anybody in any industry, selling anything at any price, and it's all bullshit. There's no one-size-fits-all approach, especially when you are the product. And that is such an important awareness and understanding. You are the product. Your business has to be built around you. And the investments that you make into yourself as the product, developing your skills, studying your seeker, healing whatever needs to be healed inside of you to be able to do this work, those investments into yourself will always give you the greatest returns because you are the most important asset in your business. Now, beyond the investment conversation, you got to check in with yourself and ask, do you even really want six figures? You know, six figures is this magical goal that so many people have because we hear it all the time. I don't know, there's just something about that sixth digit, right? Making $100,000. And there's nothing wrong with that if you really want that, but a lot of people can live a very happy, fulfilled life with much less money. And then some people need a lot more money. So your goals, especially your financial goals, again, need to come from you and what you need to enjoy your life and what's the purpose of building this business anyway. When I first got started, I was that person that was just going after a certain kind of revenue goal, and I didn't realize everything that it would take to get that goal. So a lot of people have a six-figure business, but they're spending as much, maybe more, or close to that dollar amount, so there's not a whole lot of room. And in business, when we're looking at lifestyle, what matters is the profit, not the gross revenue. And then once you have those profits in your business at the level that you want, then you can scale it. But what a lot of people are doing is they're following scaling templates or scaling directions for a business that's not yet profitable. So your first goal, especially in the beginning, is to create profit, and then how can you increase those profits? So I want you to keep it simple, especially in the beginning, and I want you to do what will create the kind of lifestyle and the kind of business profits that you want. Way too many coaches are buying choices that aren't even aligned with these fundamental questions because they haven't asked or they haven't answered these fundamental questions. Now let's look at the specifics. So to do that, I'm going to head over to the chalkboard. Let's talk about money. All right, let's actually look at some of the numbers. If you want $100,000 in revenue, what that means is $8,333.33 every month. And let's say you have a coaching package of $1,000, just a flat fee, not per month, and it's for 3 months. So now if you want to get to $8,000 plus a month and you have $1,000 for each package, that would equal 9 packages. So I like to shoot above the actual goal to give us a little bit of wiggle room. So now the question is, how do you generate 9 coaching clients per month? These are new clients. So let's say you have a conversion ratio of 1 in 4, meaning every 4 people you talk to and you explain your coaching package, let's say 1 person says yes. So if you want to make 9 sales per month, that means you need 36 conversations per month. If you have 36 conversations per month, then if these ratios hold, then you should get those 9 packages, and that should get you to your monthly goal. And let's say you're not going to work every single day, Monday through Sunday. Let's say you're only going to focus on the weekdays, and I'm going to bump it up a little bit. That really is 2 conversations per weekday. So then the question is, how can you get into 2 conversations every day? And if you get into 2 conversations and this ratio holds, then once this is generated, once you get this consistent, then you've got a $100,000 business. Now, it's not going to happen right away in month 1, but I just want you to understand what you can actually generate if we break these numbers down. And this is really all that matters. It doesn't matter that you want this amount of money. What matters is, are you willing to follow the plan that's going to generate the amount of money that you want? So let's say you get to the point where you have these 9 coaching clients, and let's say you're talking to them for 30 minutes a week. 30 minutes a week for 3 months, $1,000, a very, very reasonable rate. And of course, if you want to charge more than that, then the numbers go down in terms of the packages sold and people you need to talk to. And if you want to sell something less than that, then the numbers go up, right? So there's all kinds of variables that make these go up and down. But I want you to just see how it can all break down. And then once you get to this point, you've got this 3-month cycle. So the second month, let's say, you would have 18 clients. The third month, you would have 27 clients. The fourth month, the first clients would fall off, or maybe 1 or 2 of them would commit to another coaching package. But then you've got this sales cycle. So you've got clients falling off and you've got clients coming in. And so once this is set up, this is essentially the simple cycle that you're going through: exposure, conversations, and conversions. How can you get people to know about you? How can you get into conversations where you share your coaching package? And then how can you sell them those coaching packages? Now, when it comes to exposure, there's essentially 2 choices that you have. You want to go offline or do you want to go online? I really suggest people in the beginning of their business to go offline. Do a lot of the skill-based work, get in front of crowds and learn how to pitch yourself to get talks, learn how to manage a room, learn how to manage communications. All that stuff is incredibly valuable in the beginning. So I always advise, look around you, get into your local market, who brings speakers in that you could go in and share whatever your coaching content is, and be willing to talk to anybody about almost anything, anytime. If somebody's gonna listen, build the skill of presenting. If you're gonna go the online route, I suggest you focus on 3 things. Number 1, podcasts. Podcasts are huge now. There are plenty of people that are just starting the podcast and plenty of people that have millions of downloads and subscribers. So wherever you are in your journey, focus on people that are at a similar place in their journey, and again, just build the skills of pitching yourself to the podcast, getting on the podcast, sharing your information, having a way for them to get in contact with you, get into the conversations, and get into conversions. You can do the same thing with online webinars or people that are doing like telesummits or virtual summits. Nowadays, that's another really big thing. Find out who's doing those and pitch yourself for those, and you're essentially just doing an interview and inviting people to get more information. And then the third thing is organic social media. Don't expect a lot of financial returns in social media, especially if you're not doing ads. It takes a while, and don't do ads in the beginning, by the way, but it takes a while to build up your reputation. It takes a while to find your voice. It takes a while for people to listen to you enough so that they trust you enough to want to know more about what you're doing and maybe get into a conversation. But those are the 3 main focuses I would suggest as you build these early muscles toward your profitable business. And then finally, let's look at costs and let's have some fun with this. I thought in my mind, that's kind of the only place I have thoughts, but what do people really need? Not what can you go out and spend money on, of course there's a ton of that, but what do you actually need? What are the essentials? And I really only came up with 3. Certification. You need to be a good coach. You could get a certification for several $100s to maybe several $1,000s, again, depending on what's aligned for you, but that's a one-time cost, is the certification. You need some kind of customer management system. Something, we call it a CRM, something that you can collect emails with and send emails out and give people information, nurture the relationship. There are a lot of different customer relationship management systems out there. The one I suggest for coaches is called GetResponse. I'll make sure there's a link in the description, and that's under $100 a month, and they do pretty much anything that you would need as a coach. And then whatever business fees you have. And that's going to be dependent on where you live, what country, what state. So I don't really have a range there, but these are generally a one-time fee to become a business and then like a yearly fee usually, but that's not all that much. So, I mean, you could have a business that's super lean in probably easily less than $1,000 a month. Now, you're probably going to want to add a few things in here based on what you want to do, but those are all dependent on who you are and how exactly you want to market. But if we keep this lean, you could have this kind of a profitable coaching business that doesn't have this big company feel, and it doesn't have you selling a bunch of programs and doing a bunch of ads and all that stuff. You're just doing the work and you're helping people change their lives with a very, very low cost. So it won't work out this way exactly. I promise you that. Please don't think I'm making any kind of guarantees. It's never going to just work out exactly like this. But I want you to have enough clarity to see, wow, that's possible. And I don't actually need to spend a whole lot of money to make money in this industry. And most people that want to get into the coaching business are not salespeople. They're not like business professionals. So don't try to force yourself into running a company that brings with it a bunch of stress and brings with it a lot of higher expenses that a lot of people just can't manage emotionally or financially. Keep it simple, do the work. The more you get into this process and the more that you sell coaching packages and the more that you believe in yourself and the more testimonials you get from clients, then you can start to expand. So what's the short answer to how much does it really cost To operate a six-figure business, it doesn't have to cost that much. I think you can generate a six-figure business conservatively with $20,000 of expenses. And that's a lot of profit. Now, of course, there's all kinds of variables, all kinds of questions you might have. If you want our support in answering any of those questions, then click the link in the description. You can sign up for a free consultation call, and we'll help you in any area, whether it's personal, professional, strategic, understanding any of these numbers, pricing, signature value, whatever it is you need support with, we got you. So just click the link in the description and jump on the phone with one of my coaches, and we'll help you in any way that we can. Now, if there's any of this that you don't agree with, anything you don't believe, anything you want to question, then please make a comment on the video. Just keep it cool. Don't be a jerk. And we're totally open to any kind of progressive conversation. If there are essential expenses that you think I'm forgetting, then please let us know. I'd love to co-create this conversation about what it actually really takes to have a fulfilling and profitable coaching business. It's not what the majority of the templates are out there, I can promise you that. Now, if you like this video, take a look at that video where I broke down step by step how we generated over $300,000 in our first 18 months as a coaching business. There were about 20 people at this 3-day event, and 18 of them signed up, and we made $47,000 that month.